Hey guys, what is going on? This is Zip of RageQuitTV. Gonna be casting a game between NrS.White and TSL.Polt. It is a TVZ on Belshir Beach, the Winter Edition. And I don't know that much about this map, but TLPD said that the Terran player has about a 40% win rate against Zerg, which means it is Zerg favored, but don't let that fool you. Polt is one of the best Terran players around. Over his StarCraft 2 career, he has earned 125 grand. And on top of that, he goes to university, I think full-time, at one of the most prestigious universities over in Korea. He is at his senior year, so once he graduates, he can focus full-time on StarCraft 2, and that is when we will see this guy shine. But as I did say before, he is an extremely talented Terran player, and he has gotten much better over the past few months that I have watched him. He is definitely one of those players that doesn't get enough credit. He is underrated, and hopefully later this year, we can see him win a GSL, because that would just be so cool. A guy that balances school and StarCraft and does well professionally. I mean, that would be pretty cool, wouldn't it? We do have White going to be going for a 15 hatch. It looks like maybe a 16. And Polt, he is throwing up his barracks right at 12 supply. And I believe this is one of those maps we can wall off with just a supply depot and barracks, which makes it very hard for a Zerg player to scout a 2-Durax build. Because this gets walled off, they have no chance of getting a drone inside your base. And then you could build a barracks down here, lift it up, and then drop it. And, well, they have really no way to see that coming. I guess they could use an Overlord, but look at these positions. How will the Overlord really get to this position safely? Because if Polt is being active with his Marine or an SCV Scout, he sees the Overlord, and he can take it out before he gets to his base. So it's very hard to scout a Terran player on this map, which leads me to believe, how is this a Zerg-favored map? It looks like 2-Raxes would just be so gosh darn good. And I think this is one of the maps that Alive had 2-Rax Idra, and took him by complete surprise. We will see. I'm pretty sure that is a complete wall-off. He is going to be getting his first Marine out and going to be setting his SCV on out to scout. Getting a supply depot down here is going to take control of this watchtower and keep on going over to White's base, where White does have his hatch building, and getting a spawning pool. Doesn't have any gas, and most likely Polt will be building the barracks because it only cost him 25 minerals to do so. Of course, 100 to build it. Then he gets 75 back once he cancels or salvages it, which is pretty big because if he builds his barracks, drones are going to have to be pulled off the line. If 2 drones are pulled off the line for 1 minute to deal with this, then Polt has done 80 minerals worth of damage, and while losing only 25. So all it takes is 2 drones or 3 drones to be pulled off for just a second for this to be a little bit beneficial. It's not a huge loss for the Zerg player, but it definitely not something you want to give Polt, because this is a small edge right now. You can see him pulling 7 drones right now to deal with this, and every drone, that's 40 minerals per minute. 1 drone does go down, and he may get the second one. No, it doesn't look like it. Is his bunker going to complete? It does, and it does force 4 lings at that Marine gun, try to run, but White does get this around. We do have this bunker going to be salvaged, and a spine caller, actually 2, going to be put up, because White, he must think something's coming, or maybe this is just one of those maps that you can't really defend against Hellions with 1 spine caller. But Polt, just me taking his expansion right now, does have his factory, going to be building 2 Hellions. Overlord is sitting right by the 3rd base, so you can see if Polt wants to take the 3rd. I'm kind of surprised it doesn't go into this area, and just check out the expansion timing. And White playing this a little bit too safe, but you can't fault him. He is going up against Polt. 1 Hellion actually spawns on the other side. Polt does correct that very quickly. Still no gas out of White, and that may be why he ended up getting these 2 spine crawlers. Is going to be getting 2 more queens, so this is a little bit funky out of White. He's going to have a lot of queens and spine crawlers. This is like Spanishawa style, or the Ice Fisher style as he wanted people to call it, but even he doesn't really do it that much anymore, I think. White going for really late gases and is going to have a lot of queens. Is going to have a big creep spread. This 1 hatch knocking the inject on it right away. Not a big deal, but I'm really curious when he is going to be taking his gases. No, that's the pool. Keep in mind, mutas normally come out around the 11-minute mark if you go for them. And without starting the lair right now, he's going to be missing that, and he hasn't even got gas yet. 3 Hellions are going to get by, and they will be seeing the super late gas out of White, and I'm curious how Polt will react to this, and even gets 2 drones right there. May get a few more. The drones do surround those Hellions, and Hellions don't really have that much DPS once units surround them, because The flames only hit one thing at a time. The thing is hitting like 4 units at a time. That's how they get that high DPS. Polt going to be sending 2 more Hellions, but seeing the no gases definitely tells him quite a bit, and he knows he can take a base. He may throw down another command center just because he knows that White, he can't be too aggressive right now. What will he be aggressive with? Slow Lings when he has 3 Hellions at the doorstep? No. So there's no way for White to be aggressive. I'm kind of curious what Polt ends up doing. He is getting a few more Hellions out, so he will have 5 at the bottom of this ramp, which will stop White. I mean, White can't do anything until he at least gets Ling Speed or maybe a Roach one out, but he hasn't even got that. We'll see if he gets a layer before that Ling Speed. He's about to mine his first 100 gas and doesn't get the gas down here, and that's a little bit of a mistake, I would say, just because of looking at that saturation, how oversaturated White was. Staying on those minerals didn't really benefit him too much. Of course, after the 16 you have, everything after that only mines around 20 minerals per minute, while the first 16 mine the 40 minerals per minute. So every drone after 16 on the mineral patch is like half a worker. And we do have another Evo chamber up. White just going to get a full wall right here. And he is getting that Ling Speed, so the lair is going to be extremely late. This is the time of the game that the lair is normally finishing, and White hasn't even started it just yet, but he is going to start getting that gas income. Has plenty of queens, but the queens cannot spread that creep just because of these Hellions. If they go down the ramp, then the Hellions can run in again and get even more scouting. We do have Polt with a Hellion on patrol, just making sure no tumors jump from down here to over here. Meanwhile, he is getting a lot of supply depots at the ramp to prevent against drone buys. 2 medevacs also on the way, and this drop play could be really good just because White, he delayed his gas for so long. He is now justing his Baneling Nest with a lair, but if those drops do come, he can do damage. And Polt, is he getting upgrades? He is getting combat shields, and I don't believe I see any E-bays out of him, so no, he is not starting on any upgrades. Just going to be getting a lot of units to make a very scary timing attack against White. But it looks like White will be switching over into Lings, as he can't really build any more drones. Looking at this saturation, he is still building them, but going over to his main and everything, he is way oversaturated. Ling's going to be running out, going to try to surround the Hellions. Do see those Marines and start falling back to where they have the Spine Crawlers and the Queens. And there's only 1 Spine Crawler. I thought I saw 2. Maybe he's got 1 by the main to protect against drops. Transfuse going down on that Spine Crawler immediately. He couldn't use the energy to use Tumor, so he does use that on his Spine Crawler to keep that alive. And a few Banelings going to be coming. Big connect right there, and those Hellions kind of form a wall that those Marines just get hit. Polt making a big blunder right there. And now he is going to have to be retreating. Do we have? Yes, this 1 Spine Crawler did move back so he can defend against drops, it looks like. And the Queens with that Transfuse definitely did help hold that off. And those Hellions, oh man, they're returning home, but they should be shot, man. They killed so many innocent Marines and then just ran on out of there. We do have 1-1 on the way for White. As soon as that finishes, he will be going in for an attack. We'll have a huge attack, and Polt going to be moving out. Doesn't have that much at home. Keep in mind, he did get a Baneling's Nest, so it looks like it is going to be a big Baneling bust out of White. He has that 106 supply, while Polt is at 96. That Siege Mode is only halfway done. Polt just now starting his +1 infantry weapons, while those Lings are at 1-1 momentarily. Actually, yeah, there we go, 1-1 right now. And getting a surround. No, he doesn't get a surround, but he does take out 1 Hellion. Another Hellion will be falling eventually. Has a few Lings right here to finish that off. And now it's looking like White, oh my god, he is in such a big advantage right now with all these units. Those Banelings do have speed. And here we go, they are going to go against those Marines. And Polt is going to have a hard time holding all of this off. Banelings just bust down the wall, and now they're going to be going in for that mineral line. And lots of SCVs going to be going down right there as the tank does go down to those Lings. Those Banelings just going to run right on past, going to be going into the main. And, oh, those SCVs need to start going, and there we go. Polt going to start splitting his SCVs so those Banelings can't get any big hits. And, pretty good SCV split, but he is losing quite a bit of workers. And now just falling back, those Banelings still going on a tear. Polt running those Marines back, going to just die. More Banelings going to come in. But Siege Mode is done, and all these Banelings gonna go down, but they do take down 1 tank and a handful of Marines. It is 62 supply versus 89 supply. Polt may let this supply depot burn to the ground. Hopefully he doesn't. 27 SCVs have been killed, 31 workers to 67. And we do have the Lings, the AI's a little bit, maybe that's not the AI's fault. There is no wall. I thought maybe he re-walled this. White does end up taking a third base, and he should just take another base and leave one Ling right here so he can scout if Polt moves out. Polt has a lot of medevacs, actually. So he's going to be needing infestors or something else, and he is getting pathogen glands to deal with that just because Lings against this many medevacs that Polt has, Lings will not be killing them whatsoever. You really need those infestors to get the phone girth off to deal the DPS and root them in place so your Banelings can come in and finish off the job. We do have Polt now going to be moving out, going to try to take out this 1/3 base with a handful of Marines. White has plenty of Lings, and going over in this army tab, we can see the army supply is relatively even. All those Lings going to be coming, but now Polt just turning down so many drones. His Marines going to get picked up, doesn't really lose anything there. Polt killing 9 drones so far this game. That's nothing to the 28 that White has killed. Going in this worker tab, we do have 66 drones versus the 40 SCVs. The Hive has now started. We do have 2-2, about halfway done. That Pathogen Glands has finished, so he will be getting infestors 2 already on the way out. Polt going to be moving. No, he's not moving out just yet. Just going to hold this one watchtower. Go back from his medevac so his Banelings do not kill all of his units. He is going to be taking his third base, though. He has 3 orbital commands up, and that medevac just going to be falling back to defend this one base as tanks and Marines do come on out. And that Hive is just about halfway done. Hasn't started the Spire yet. Is that down? No, there is no Spire. That's not started, so it looks like we may have White going in for Ultralisk play just because normally when you see Broodlord play, you see the Spire go down at the same time as a Hive because they both have the 100-second build time. So as soon as the Spire finishes, then you can morph it into a greater Spire. But just a third base, fourth base now coming up for White. Polt is on 3 bases. The worker count is 45 to 80. And going over the saturation, we can see White, he really needs to get that other base up as that 1/3 base is just way, way, way oversaturated. His main, a little bit, but again, this third base just way over saturation right now. And Polt going to siege up tanks and start moving on out. Going back to this army supply, it is 82 to 82, so completely even army supplies, and that's not somewhere the Zerg wants to be. But we do have White at 2-2, while Polt is at 1-1. Going over in this income, you can see Polt a little bit behind in the income, but not by all of that much, considering how many workers he did lose in the early game. Did take out a lot of overlords, but still 200 supply for the Zerg player. We do have the infestors moving out. And those infestors getting a little bit cautious, but only 2 of them go down, while those Lings going to try to finish everything off. Polt has a nice spread of tanks in the back, though. Does kill off every Ling, and that does not put him in the lead of supply one bit. 116 or 120 to the 143 of White. We do have the 4th base now up, and Polt going to be taking out more overlords. That is a missed rally from White if I have ever seen one. 4 overlords going to be going down, and these infestors going to be seeing more action. That's one thing I don't like about them. He just has them headbutting units, and that's not what infestors want to do. What are you doing, infestor? Does get a phone girth off and somehow manages to live. But those infestors are very costly units. You do not want to lose them. Losing them is very, very bad because you never want to have to rebuild infestors. That is what makes infestor play so strong against mutaplay. Mutaplay, you have to lose mutas. I don't care how good your control is, you are going to lose mutas eventually. With infestor play, if you control them perfectly, you will never have to lose any of them. So the gas it takes to use infestors is very minimal. You get 9 up, you don't have to build any more infestors the rest of the game if you don't lose them. With mutas, yeah, you get 9 up, you have to keep building them throughout the whole game. So losing the infestors like we do have White so far isn't that good, but he is still definitely ahead in this game. 152 supply to 122, but Polt going to do a lot of damage right here. Those Marines being very effective, and then immediately lifts up. We do have 4 infestors bird right here, and that could spell disaster for Polt. And looks like he is being annoying between this one area with the drop. Does take the overload out. Now going to kill whatever he can. As he does move out, going to be taking out the creep spread. And now Lings are going to come, but Polt is going to be retreating. We still have those 4 infested hands that do lay eggs next to those tanks, but Polt has enough Marines to take care of them. And now more and more eggs going to be coming. We do have Polt, though, going to be holding this. At the same time, he has been very active with this one drop. Going to the workers killed, still only 9. But still just being annoying, forcing White to try to deal with that 1 Marine, 1 medevac. That is a big pain That should not be a pain whatsoever. And you can see him just microing this back and forth, gonna do what he can as he does move out, taking care of the creep spread. We do have 4 ultras on the way with 3-3, I believe, done? No, armor's not done just yet. It's got another minute while the weapons have just finished. The ultras do show themselves, and ultras don't do really that well against Marines when they have plenty of medevacs unless you get Lings and Infestors there. And White just gonna be going for this, and this could be a big mistake. He kind of just half went for that. And all those Infestors go down. That's what I'm saying. You can't leave those Infestors to go so close to the tanks. That's a huge thing to rebuild. White, you can see he's starved on everything. He needs all his resources. Does not want to have to rebuild those Infestors. The Tomb are going to be going down. And the Ultras, they did live for the most part. But White definitely did not engage with his whole army at once. And now the Ultra's going to be falling back. 1 Ultra almost dead. It looks like he is. No, he's not taking down the weakened Ultra. But 2 go in that deep red. The Marines, you do get surrounded right now. We have plenty of tanks back here. Some not in siege mode. That's a little bit odd. And there we go. They do go in siege. And that 1 drop looks like it's finally been cleaned up. And I hear transfuses, so it looks like those Ultras getting transfused to bring them back up near full life. Only 1 in the red right now. Polt going to be trying to do something with this handful of bio units. Wants to go in and disrupt this base some more, but it is definitely a little bit risky. The Ultra is going to be coming in, leading with them, but he leads with them so much, and now the Lings finally do come in. There's Marines down there taking care of 2 Ultras, taking them out of the battle, and that is all he has to do as he has plenty of units, just cleans up that. And then it looks like those Marines, yeah, they died, but those 2 Ultras would have made a huge difference staying up close to those tanks. Fung growth does go down, but the Ultras, they fall as well thanks to those tanks. And Polt looks like he's behind in supply, but I want to say he is ahead in this game. 69 army supply for Zergler, 76 for Polt. Polt is behind in upgrades, 3-3 versus the 2-2. But White kind of making the same mistake Destiny is making, but Destiny has learned from it. He only makes Ultralisks when he wants to lose games that he's very far ahead in. White, maybe he has the same motto. He just thought he was so far ahead of the game, wanted to make Ultras as, I don't know, and hasn't proven that well. But Ultras are good units. They just have to be used very well. As you have seen White, he's kind of, yes, he's led with his Ultras, but his Lings and Infestors have been so far behind his Ultras, just pretty much half dead by the time his rest of the army does engage. Jones going to get a surround on those Marines, and the Marines will be falling, but they do their damage. Going in the workers killed 25 to 27. These Marines just can bait these Ultras back, and all these tanks just shelling out on those Ultras. So many Ultras do fall there. 3 Ultras, that is a huge loss, and allows Polt to pull ahead in supply. And now a few Marines going to try to take out this 1 Ultra. There's medevacs proving to be healing a lot. Those Marines do split up to minimize the AoE. And now just bring it back into the Ultra line. Few Infestors going off. And again, he's bringing those Infestors in harm's way. He doesn't have to be that close to all the tanks. Just so those Infestors turns out to allow the Ultras to get up close. And then finally the Lings do come. But the Ultra's almost dead by the time the Lings end up coming there. And that looks like it may be near the game. Polt going to be taking his 4th base. We have an LOL out of White. Polt wants to take that 4th base. There we go. Now landing it as the Marines do come in on this 3rd base. Fungut does go down on these Marines. The base, though, is going to fall, and the Marines do not get taken out. Looks like the Infestor did die, and there's enough medevacs just to heal after that fungal growth, so that was completely wasted. 1 Infestor bird right there. We do have more units coming in from Polt. White, he's not happy. Polt saying, I'm sorry. And I'm not sure what White's saying. Oh, it looks like really funny how good you are. GG, well played. And I will say, that was a pretty good game. You can take out how to engage with Ultras. I'm not going to go in SC2 gears because MLG is going on. I really want to see Naniwa versus Nesty. But I do want to look at this one engagement. That's not it. Yeah, that was pretty bad. It worked, but the Infestors, I mean, he just kept them going in too far. And we're just waiting for the Ultras to come so we can watch one of these engagements. Okay. So this one looks like it is started good. Ultras do come, tanks start chilling out of them. Now the Lings do end up coming. That engagement wasn't that bad. Apart from these infestors, look how close they are getting to shoot those infested Terran eggs, and then all of them dying. That is a huge loss, just because that Zerg, those infestors, they, like, the longer they're out, the more they're worth. Just because they gain energy. The more energy they use, the more cost effective they are. And here we go, these Ultras. Polt just doing a great job at baiting them, doing the damage to them, but that's not the fight I want to look at, I don't think. And, okay. So here we go. Let's just watch this, because I think the Ultras, they're pretty much almost dead by the time the Lings do get in, and maybe all White wants to do is get up close to the tanks with his Lings. But we'll see. What should White be doing, but Polt is stopping. He has the Marines right here, so this is very nice from Polt, because what White should do in this, he should set up for a flank. He should have bring a lot of units down through here, and then come up behind and engage Polt on 2 positions, and even maybe possibly even 3 positions. That may be a little bit too much, but you should definitely try to engage on 3 positions. But you do see Polt, he is keeping an eye on that to make sure units don't go down throughout this one area to get the flank on them. But there's mistake number 1, not flanking. And then I guess the Lings don't fall too far behind the Ultras. But just look at the Ultras' health go down now. Looks like he was on an A move with these Ultras. These 3 Ultras do go down to handle these Marines, which he didn't care about in the fight that much anyways. All these were was ensuring that a flank did not come. And now with those 3 Ultras out of the way, the tanks are free to kill the Lings and the Banelings. And that one small mistake made this game go pretty badly for White, and losing more infestors again. If you don't lose the infestor, you don't have to rebuild them. You can just build Ultras instead. When you lose the infestors, well, you have to rebuild them. That's all there is to it. Infestors are not a unit you can like afford to not have in your army, but you can't afford to keep building them over and over again. Hopefully you enjoyed that cast. Sorry I'm not going to SC2 Gears. My time is a little bit limited. Take care, and I will see you tomorrow.